Oh, no. Go on.
Thank you. You may come. Okay.
Oh, should have been it. Bring them close. Everybody have this one, Paul. Let's check it.
Yeah. Pass it around. Can I give you a little bit of time?
Yeah.
Pass it around. Yeah. What you want? Yeah.
Make sure to translate, Rabbi, this one I will Hebrew literate.
Oh yeah? Okay. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. It's a super duper exciting event. I remember in Tafshin Noon, the Rebbe has said that every Yid should join a Siyum HaRambam. The Rebbe gave $1 for everyone for a bracha for joining the Siyum HaRambam. And I'm sure the bracha is relevant today as it was. Tonight, in honor of the Siyum HaRambam, we're having a Sudas Mitzvah. I'm sorry it's late, but the Sudas Mitzvah is very special. Actually, last night there was a very big Siyum HaRambam. Was anyone there at the Armory? There were thousands of people there. And the close. Yeah. And there was Kloisenberg Rebbe has Zachron Lebrocha, Zechat Tzadik Baruch has two sons. One that's a Rav in Israel and one that's here. And the son that the Rebbe, the son's Rebbe here came.
Passed out.
He passed out in the middle of talking.
Fasting.
And he was talking about. He woke up and then he finished
fasting because of Shabbat.
So that was remarkable. And someone at last night mentioned that Sudas Mitzvah is a very important part of the Siyum. So in Mitzvah Hashem, the Sudas Mitzvah is on the way. We have a special treat tonight for the Rambam. Lakovid the Siyum HaRambam. And that is Chaim L'chaim for joining us. That is that when the Rebbe started the concept of the Rambam, of learning the Rambam, 10 years earlier, the Rebbe had said a very long Hadran. And the Rebbe published immediately that Hadran, 40 pages. So we're going to try to a little bit go into that Hadran tonight as a special treat. It's 45 cycles of Rambam, and it's very, very exciting. So even if you're not yet learning Rambam, it's exciting. It's Klal Yisrael is learning, but it's for sure a good time to start. Tonight we're starting actually the Sefer of the Rambam Yesod HaTorah, because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was the Akdama Rambam Mitzvah Loita say.
3 Prokim is starting. The one parak not yet.
We're welcome back. We have a bit of time.
Yeah.
Those only 3 Prokim is starting tonight. So, with no further ado, I'm going to send out these booklets that I made for you tonight. Here, there's 2 booklets there.
Cool.
One more, sure.
2 pages.
It's 2 pages.
Yeah,
2 pages.
Okay.
Before I start with Siyum HaRambam, turn to the next page. The Chidor writes about the Rambam. The Chidor writes about the Rambam. That he writes, and I want to start off here the Siyum HaRambam with something that we left off on Monday when we spoke about the Siyum HaRambam. If you remember, I told you that the Rambam writes in the beginning of his Akdama that Achia Shiloini was a little child when they went out of Mitzrayim and he heard from Moshe Rabbeinu. Well, apparently was a makabel from David Ubeis Dinah. And similar to that, later, the Yochanan was a little child. He was caught in Hoya when he heard Torah from Rabbi Kodesh, and Lapoil was makabel from Rabbi Yanai. And tonight I realized something remarkable, which is that the Rambam himself had such a story, and that's why the Rambam spoke about it. The Rambam himself had such a story. The Rambam was born in Cordoba. Cordoba is in Andalusia in Spain. When I was there with my wife a couple of years ago, my my wife was pregnant. There was an Arab woman that told her, if you don't mind, I want to touch your stomach. I'll tell you if it's a boy or a girl. Okay, my wife said okay.
What'd she say?
She was right. She said it was a girl.
Oh, okay.
Then she said, we need the Jews here. The one thing with it's a nice city. Cordoba is a gorgeous city. We miss the Jews.
Where is Cordoba?
It's in the south of Farad
It's fine.
Ben,
in Spain.
what did you see there? Why didn't you go there?
I don't know.
What did you see there? I mean,
You saw the Bet Knesset where the Bimaimon presumably davened. Is the Bet Knesset still standing there?
to see that one shul that was died to make.
I don't know. It was to get the feeling of how long it took me to drive from Cordoba to Alicena, which is a town which is in the middle of the hills, an obscure town. It's just that there's a chief rabbi, or he goes with the name of chief rabbi of south of Spain, and he told me, if you're now in Cordoba, I would strongly advise that you drive to Alicena.
Where?
Alisna. Alisna was a town that was all Jews in the days of the Rif, and his Talmud Ri Migash, and they claim that they know where the Rif is buried there and where his Talmud Ri Migash is buried. And they claim that everyone in the city almost are Jewish. Elamai, they're Anusim. And when we drove into the town, I'm not exaggerating. Every person was looking at us. It's like a hick town. It's like you don't end up driving through this town. It's a little village. A gorgeous old city, medieval city, but small, very small city. Everyone was looking at us. Everywhere we parked, everywhere we walked. And we tried to get the keys for the Jewish cemetery because we were told there was a certain museum. Everywhere we went, people were looking at us. And then we found out why, because they have this complex. Many of them have this thing that they light and they hide in secret, and they light a candle on Friday. They don't know why, but that's what their mother said. And that's what their mother's mother said. Yes, even now. Yes. This lady that I met and several other people told me this. So it's remarkable to take a drive from Cordoba to Alisna. Why? Because now I told my wife when we got there, now I get the story of the Mareches Hagedolim. The Rambam writes in Hilchos Shila Pikodin that this is the opinion of my Rebbe, the Rimigash, and his Rebbe, the Rif. So the Gedolei Olam all asked, what do you mean this is your Rebbe? You were 5 or 7 years old when the Rimigash passed away. And your father was just about a little child when the Rif passed away. So how could the Rimigash be your Rebbe? So the Shema Gedolim says that Rabbi Maimon was a student of the Rimigash, and when he was sick, he took his son with him, and that's a story that he brings from several sources, from the Tashbitz that lived actually in Mallorca, which is also an island of Spain, and should have known because he lived only about 100 years afterwards. So he says a story that Rabbi Maimon heard that his Rebbe was passing away, and he brought his little son to see the Rebbe before he passed away. And the Rimigash put his hands on the little boy's head and gave him a blessing that he should be a Talmid Chacham. Big Talmid Chacham. And I don't know if it says over here big, but it says that he put his hands on his head. Nichnas etzloi v'noshek yodoi v'hu keben hei shonim v'omer HaRambam shloi zoche l'ma shezoche ela ba'oisa neshikoi shenoshkoi uberchoi v'hetzel olov mei chochmosoi. Ad kan l'shoina. This is on the right side on the 4th paragraph. But Eizah chodesh shre'isa v'sefer oima shikcha perek mishla shekosav al psak ateres kenim bnei bonim v'zel l'shoina k'mach kosav al HaRambam b'shas p'tiris ha'horiyaf, which is the Rimigash. Zal nichnas etzle v'noshek yode v'huke ben heishonim v'omer shlezoch l'mashazoch elabois neshika shenoshkoi o berchoi v'etzelav mechachmasik. So I was telling my wife when from Cordoba and Andalusia to Alisna was not such a long drive. So yes.
Leave it
Please.
on the table.
Here, 1 second.
You put it in front of me.
Yeah, I have it single. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
funny.
1 second. Wait a second.
I
Wait a
think-
second. Wait a second.
Like you came here just for the food. Disgusting.
I know.
Thank you.
Where the stuff was searching.
How about here? How about? Thank you so much.
I didn't even know there was any.
Liar.
Thank you.
This is all you do.
Thank you so much.
Stop. Man, yeah. Telefonamos? Se quer.
That's after I said.
I made a very specific order for tonight. I told him I want all the sandwiches to be honey beef sandwiches.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. Gosh.
Oh,
Oh,
it's good.
This was here. No.
Have that spoon.
Here we go.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Heaven, yeah. Oh, doesn't care.
Got it.
Oh, wow.
Well, put it down right here. Put it down right here. Good.
Everybody wash.
Really? Here's some sweet sauce.
Must have been refrigerated if anybody wants to get it.
Secrets in the kitchen.
Go get it.
Yeah, could you give me a
Can't pull
plate?
myself away from the food.
There, I got a plate.
Yeah. Anyways, we gotta go on. It's you.
I
Oh,
wa-
he washed it. Smart. He washed already.
There we go. Everyone got the plates?
This place.
I give you a plate?
And to think I had a small impulse to go into, that was name, Essen tonight.
Oh, yeah?
And get a corned beef sandwich, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I tell you, if I spent $28 on a thing, I would have felt like a first class, as my father would say, a first class.
Good.
I'm gonna grab you one time.
Well, okay.
I
I
should have
had
brought mustard. Parrots, there's mustard in the refrigerator, please. Thank you.
You don't work.
Uh-huh.
If you want to, you can go get it.
Yeah.
Go get it. Get
All
it.
right, I'll get it. Don't get it.
Everybody works for you?
No, just
I'll
parrots.
get it, I'll-
Just parrots.
That doesn't work for you. Doesn't work for anybody.
No. You give him a job.
He already has.
He has a job.
He has a job.
Oh, okay, one shot. Like he's no boss.
Oh, it's you.
It's me.
Show me washed.
My humor.
Show me washed.
Jenny.
I was downing today a little after exercise. Some guy
Right,
I know
right.
said, which religion is this?
It's
I didn't
called,
know what to tell him.
Actually, Rambam.
I told him I'll explain it to you another time. That theorem.
Actually, Rambam
his name
won
again?
argument.
all right.
First of all,
First you got
what's a good
No, you don't
dessert
want
shop?
I bought two different ones.
You don't want it. Oh, I'm just saying, get the deli mustard.
Alright, I'll bring the other one.
Who's on it? You know what on it?
Actually, Rambam won argument. He lost his job in November.
Rambam is my guy.
Doesn't mean you should. but Rambam-
You not gonna eat? Susan Smith?
I will.
Because he down in the-
Okay, I'll go watch.
Thank you. I'm me.
And this is what's called Shul and Kiruv,
What was I?
the best time of Kiruv.
Yeah.
That's.
You didn't see it?
Yes.
It's on the side door.
You know, right there.
Check the deli mat. Yeah, this one. I didn't see anything besides for these two.
Oh, it's fine.
There's another one that's. This one.
Where is this place in Migash? More of these everywhere.
Main.
It's funny, I said to the son, they brought out all the cakes and the cookies. And I'd be pretty sure that that's all it was. And I said to him, the she says, when's the cold cuts coming? He said, well, they have to be delivered. I was just joking.
Cover the Rambam need to have a Sudas mitzvah. Chaim l'chaim.
Well, if I was out in Meyer Rapids, I'd say, would it be the same crime and not be chocolate after the day?
No.
Restaurants, it's the same thing, right? Or different? No, it's the same or no, it's different?
Very different.
Why?
Because Maida was Tishman Kravas and Maida.
No, so long as I said Krishma for both. So long as I said Krishma in time for chakra in the morning. Because of Birchas Krishma thing? Because of saying Krishma Birchas Krishma? Or because of.
Maida was the whole night.
Krishma.
Hmm.
And by chakras, you don't have the same thing?
There's an answer for everything.
Meaning?
And
Consume your Coke, but I didn't.
you could bring the Coke to the table.
Well, all you can.
Oh.
Something belongs to somebody.
I'm diabetic, I'm not taking, I'm just kidding. Although it goes good with coffee.
Okay. Let's. Okay. L'chaim, l'chaim. Amen. Thank you everyone for joining us in this mitzvah. It's unbelievable schus to be by the Siyum HaRambam. So just to wrap it up, so it was actually not that far to drive from Cordoba to Alisna, which is the place of where the Ri Migash lived. And this is really what the Gedar's answering. True, he was a little boy when the Ri Migash passed away, but his father was a student of the Ri Migash, and he himself saw him, kissed his hand, and got a blessing. And there's a lot that we can learn from that, which is that, also us, some of us were little children when we were zeicha to see the Rebbe, some of us didn't see him, but we're zeicha to see videos of him, and we're zeicha to learn from those that learned from him. Okay, let's continue. In the second column, the Chedor writes about something Reb David. Reb David was a grandson of the Rambam. After the Rambam and the family, there was the Almohides who came to power. They were vicious Muslims, and they wouldn't tolerate anyone that wasn't Muslim. So the choice was to convert or to die, and they killed many humans. So the Rambam and the family, they escaped from Cordoba. They went over the channel to Soweto, which is even today. Soweto is a tiny country. It belongs to, not sure who, but it doesn't belong to Spain. Oh, it belongs to Spain. Sorry, the opposite. It's a part of Morocco, but it belongs to Spain. Right, today, Soweto is tiny. It's on the tip, on the African tip. And from there, they moved to the city of Fez. And again, they were in danger. And then they went to the Rambam's father and the Rambam and his brother, Reb David, and the sister. They went in a boat and they went to Israel. And they got to Akko, where they lived for a little while. And then they went to Yerushalayim. Eventually, they moved to Egypt. And that's where the Rambam got married to a very choshev, to a woman who was from a very choshev family, descendants of Reb Doisa. The Rambam himself from a very choshev family. That Abar Benel said that he was from the descendants of Rabbeinu HaKodesh.
Yeah.
And he had a son, Reb Avram, who was a big Talmud Chacham, and he had a grandson of David, presumably named after his brother David. The Rambam had a brother David who he was very close with. His brother was a merchant, primarily a diamond dealer. When his brother was at sea, there was a storm, and the brother and all his merchandise, which is Avonim Toivis and Margolia, sank to the bottom of the Indian Ocean. The Rambam took it very hard, and he was sick for a very long time. And then when he stood up from his sickness, he assumed responsibility for his brother's wife and daughter. He became a doctor, and that's how he is Parnos, and that's how he became the doctor of the king, and so on. And that's
So later in his life, he became a doctor.
he learned medicine when he was in Morocco in Fez. But the Rambam really, his influence on the Jewish people didn't start in Egypt. Didn't start. Didn't start just when he became a doctor. It started the day he came to Egypt. So his grandson had the name Reb David Hanogid. He was a wealthy person. He was the head of the Jewish people towards the government in Egypt. He wrote a sefer Medrash David. There's a famous thing that Chaim Volozhin would like to quote from Reb David, which is, it's better to learn a few minutes with Simcha than to learn a few hours with Atzvus. So there's a story that was told about the wisdom of Reb David. There was once the mayor of the city of Cairo, Al Kahir. So there was a dispute with him and a businessman. The businessman had brought a tremendous amount of merchandise, and he already delivered it. And the guy paid only a little bit, and then he wanted to be mevatel the Mecca. And there was a huge brouhaha in the city over this. They came to the court, and there were lawyers on both sides, and there was a sitting in front of the judge. Everyone expected that the judge would favor the ruler of the city because you don't want to start up with the ruler of the city. What happened was that the defendants that night came to the judge, and they tried to bribe him. And he started screaming, yelling, "Get out of here!" And they were sure that they're going to lose the case. The next day, they came to court and they won the case. The judge said, "Look, a deal is a deal, and there was transaction already happened. The delivery of the merchandise happened. You can't refuse to pay." The ruler of Cairo was very angry, but he had no choice, and the judge was a very powerful judge, and he paid. That night, the defendants, they were sure that he only chased them away because he was scared that people will find out that he takes shaykhah. They owe him the money because he did something so courageous. They came that night again with the bag of money. The story is told by the Pshol Avadia Hadiyah. Hadaya. So they came with the money, and they're sure that now the judge is going to take it. And the judge Hassan got angry at them and kicked them out of his house. So I don't take shoicha. He was so upset. After they left, he took a stroll and he went to the house of his friend Reb David, the grandson of the Rambam, and he told him the whole story. And he said, I know that the Jewish sages say that you can never trust a judge who's a non-Jew because they take shoichet. I had this biggest temptation of shoichet, and I stood up and I did the right thing against the government. And afterwards, they came with a bag of shoichet, and I didn't take it. What are you going to say now about what your sages said? David said, first of all, our sages, chachamim alarov tada, but talking about the majority. I mean, it could be almost there could be good, righteous Gentiles. But But that's not the true answer. The true answer is that you made a false assumption here. What are you talking about? He said, you said that you didn't take shechet, but you didn't say if you were Jewish or not. You're Jewish. And this guy was so upset. What makes you think so? It's only a Jew cannot take shechet in this level. Go talk to your mother. And lo and behold, he found out, and not only his mother was Jewish, but they came from a mishpacha miyucheses b'Yisrael, and that they converted to Islam. So Reb David, the grandson of the Rambam, was a very wise person. But he wasn't the stature of the Rambam. He was a wealthy man, and he was called Reb David Hanogid. He wrote a beautiful sefer called Medrash David. Now let's look at a little piece that the Chidah writes. Shmulik, you got the booklet?
Thank you.
Here, look over here in the little oisius. In the little oisius. Sure. Here, look in the little oisius in the Chidah. Kosav Seder Adoiris Daf Nun Daled Omed Beis Matzasi Kosav Bekunteris Yosha Noish Omar Rabbeinu David Hanogid Ki Mishna Teure Shechiber Zikne Ramba Amaschol B'Shem HaMafurish Yisoydes V'Amudam HaChochma V'Masayim Kimol Oretz Deya.
It's the only book that they see Amudalet. So
That it starts off with Yudke Vavke and it finishes off with Mol Oretz Deya. V'Adam Apir Rabbeinu Ovid Ke'esa Shonim Hoyi Yoshev Rabbeinu Moshe B'Chedre V'Layotza MaPesach HaTshusayim. He said, my father, Rabbi Avram, told me that his father sat for 10 years, didn't leave the house until he finished writing. It took him 10 years until he finished writing the Sefer Mishnah Torah. Balayla Shishlima, the night when he finished, night he came, he saw a dream. His father Rabbi Maimon came with another man. Oh, that you should know that I'm coming here with Moshe Rabbeinu. The Nival, the Rambam was like trembling. The Moshe Rabbeinu said, I came to see your book.
gee.
And the Rambam in his dream hands the book to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu flips through the book. He said, okay. By the way, there's a fascinating piece afterwards from the Rambam, and another fascinating piece afterwards from Yaakov Haraji, but I'm going to leave that aside for right now. And from here, I'm going to dive straight into the Rebbe's. The Rebbe said a Hadran, which was 40 pages. So if you turn the page, you'll see that the Rebbe's Hadran starts from page Mem Gimel and finishes on page Ayin Vov. Okay? You know the story of the rabbi that used to give a 12-minute drasha because it was, and then he moved, and all of a sudden his drashas became 24 minutes. They said, what happened, the rabbi? What happened was he would prepare his drasha from when he walked to his house to the shul. When he moved, instead of being 12 minutes from the shul, he lived 24 minutes in the shul. Rabbi said, I started learning this thing as I got onto the plane, and I couldn't, and I finished it as we're walking off the plane. So I literally, to read just the first half, the words of it took me 3 hours. Let's read a little bit in the Rambam. We'll talk about the Rebbe. Markia Shchokim, the Rebbe's Chidush. I just want to share the nugget. The reason I'm not going to learn the Rebbe's inside the Hadran, as you can see, it's a 1/4 of an inch thick. So I'm not making a copy of and learning this. It'll take us many hours. But the Nekudas Achidush of the Rebbe, which is so fundamental in the Emunas of Hashem Yisborich, I'd like to share tonight. And also some thoughts that I have about this. There's something remarkable about the Rambam, is that the Rambam wrote things that are so deep and so complicated in such a concise halachas. Like the Amunah and the Eibishter, how the Rambam codified it as a halacha, and he writes it kurz and sharp. It's remarkable. Let's read the first 6 halachas in Hilchos Yesod HaTorah, which, as I said tonight, those are learning 3 parakim and Rambam. This is what they're starting to learn. So you see, Shmulik, you're already a leg up. You're already going to learn the first 6 halachas.
Tomorrow is the biggest Rambam. Yom
Why
Shishi,
Why is it biggest?
because he's from Sefer Rishon to Sefer Yudalet, all the halachas. He has
Oh,
to read
Right.
I to Z.
Right.
Is the biggest Rambam.
That's true.
You have the whole conference.
I'd say yesterday and today is only the mitzvah.
Right, the mitzvah
Now it's
say
the whole
to say. Right.
halachas.
But you're already ahead with Shabbos and Rambam. The Yesodis. Yesodis, Amud HaChochmos. Later to know. You got it?
The first page.
Later to know Sheyesha Motzedishin, that there is a Motzedishin. There is a first being. Umamtsikol Nimtza, and he makes that everything that's Nimtza, that's being, should be. And everything that's found in heaven and earth and what's in between. Are not found only from the Amitas Emotz of the Eibishter. Halacha 2.
Who else write this Loshan? So Rambam came up with it.
The Rambam's words. If a person shall think that the Eibishter is not in existence, nothing else could exist. Halacha 3. If a person will think that, you know what, maybe one day everything will not exist. That could be that one day there'll be Chat Charuv, nothing will exist, but still, Hu Levada Yeh Motzi. He, well, the Eibishter will be around. V'lei Botl Hu Levitulam. Kolan Im Tzoim Tzrichim Loi, V'hu Baruch Hu Ein Tzorech Lahem Loi Le'echid Mehem. Lefikach Ein Amitosek Amitas Echid Mehem. Next halacha. Usha Novi Yomer. This is what the Novi Hashem Elikim Emes. Hu Levada Emes. The Eibishter is true. Vein Lacher Emes Kamitosek. Nothing else is like the truth of the Eibishter. Usha Torah Meretz Ein Ed Malvade. There's nothing besides the Eibishter. There is no Motze Emes besides the Eibishter. This Motze is the Eibishter. Adon kol haaretz. He runs the galgal. The galgal is what makes everything time move, and everything, time and space, is controlled by the movements of the galgalim. And he moves it because it's impossible that it's going around without a koyach that's moving it. The idea is dover is a mitzvah asay. Knowing this is a mitzvah asay. Shenema, as the pasuk says, "Anoichi Hashem Elekech." A person that's thinking that there is an Eibishter besides this, the Rambam's the Rebbe's question in the beginning of his of the Hadar and Lechoira, verstehen nicht Shaila. Rebbe, what's the Rebbe's big passion? The Rebbe says, look at the 3rd paragraph. Tzarich lahav hayediyah sheyesha motzei rishon hiyesoid kol haTorah. Knowing that that there is Eibishter, that's the foundation of the entire Torah. If a person doesn't believe in the Eibishter, then he can't believe in the Torah. I was learning this in the play. My daughter is learning it with me. She said she's reading a book. You know, like we don't let our kids read Goyish books. Today, Baruch Hashem, go to Ashler's, thousands of Jewish books. Even though there's such narishkeit, there's no depth to a lot of these books. They're like, you know,
Novels.
yeah, novels, you know, Jewish novels. They're like so bad.
Kids, they got to read something.
But the kids got to read something, so let them read that, you know. But it tells me this whole book is about a woman that she converts to Judaism. She doesn't believe in the Rabbanu Shalom, but she likes Judaism, so she converts. And there's a whole story about it. So my daughter says, I don't understand even like what's the message of the book. It doesn't make sense, she says, you know. If the lady likes gefilte fish, Adler's gefilte fish, she can go to, you know, ShopRite and buy for $3.99 Adler's gefilte fish. if she likes Kedem grape juice, she can go to ShopRite before Pesach and they can take a few coupons, and she could get 99 cents a bottle of Kedem grape juice. She can go and get Manashevet's matzah and a little bit of Chrein from Batamta, and she could have a good Seder night. But if you don't believe in the Rebbeinu Shalom, 613 mitzvahs turn into 613 restrictions. It's a big burden. If you believe in the Rebbeinu Shalom, it's 613 opportunities, 613 special connections to the Eibishter. But if you don't believe in the Eibishter, it doesn't make sense. Why would a person keep the 613 mitzvahs? Obviously, this is a foundation. Aval haloch inyan psak din anagei lepoel. Ma shaykh loim beinyan hanal she'di zu yesoid shehu haloch. What's shaykh to say over here? A haloch. I'm not sure what's the Rebbe's question. Like, is the Rebbe's question the famous question that Abarbanel asks? Abarbanel asks, how could you have a mitzvah to believe in Hashem? If the guy doesn't believe, so what are you telling him to believe? He doesn't believe. If he already believes, what are you telling him? He already believes. Right? It's a catch-22.
You can't force somebody to eat something that is.
That's a separate child. But they're saying, like, it's a catch-22. Who are you talking to? He doesn't believe. He doesn't believe. He believes. He already believes. Elamai that Tzemach Tzedek answers that the mitzvah is, once you already believe, to understand the awesomeness of Hashem. Mitzvah Samonas Lakus is that Tzemach Tzedek, a beautiful mimer that we should learn in Mitzvah Hashem one day. And the truth, it's meduik in the Lashon HaRambam. Leida sheyez shemotzerishin. It should only be b'ofen shel amunah. It should be b'ofen shel das. So there can be. This is the Rebbe's question. To ask what's the practical halacha here. What do you know what's the practical halacha? Chassidus always asks, how could you command someone to love? I like potato chips. I like. If I don't like potato chips, no, you must like potato chips. I don't like it. You better like it right now. I don't like potato chips. What are you going to tell me? So Chassidus says, "V'hafta is the mitzvah on these boinenus." Mamela, he'll come to have ava. Same thing here. You could say that the mitzvah is on the leida, on the spending the time learning Chassidus every day, an hour before davening, or if a Chassidus Balabas to wake up a little earlier and come to Beis Menachem Mendel and learn an hour of the Kutei Torah and Torah before davening to understand what the Eibush is. Come Thursday night and learn Chassidus. And to taste a little bit of the Tam of Chassidus, to understand the Eibush. So that's a halacha. What's the Rebbe's question here? I think what the Rebbe's question is, the Rambam says that these 6 halachas is a yesoid. Yesoid is v'amud hachacham. Why is it a halacha for me to know that this is a yesoid? And if I don't think it's a yesoid, how is this negei lepoil to know that this is yesoid is v'amud hachacham? That's what the Rebbe's question is. Lanir's daiti. As I said, everyone is welcome to learn this on their own, but we have very short time, and I'm going to give
or not. Why did he start with this?
That's not the shayla. Look in the Diuk Haloshin. So, the Rebbe is one of the main things that the Rebbe asks over here is what's the second halacha in the Rambam? Obviously, the Rambam said that there's a motzei nishan. So, and he creates everything. So, what is that Rambam saying? If the Eibush is not, there's nothing else. Well, obviously, that's what he said. The Eibush created everything. So if the Eibush does not, there's nothing. What's the chiddush of the second halacha? And Takazoi, also in the Aseres Adibus, Anoichi v'lo yiyeh lecha. What's the chiddush of lo yiyeh so much? We say these two pi'ag vurim shemayne. Because Anoichi is the yesoid of all mitzvah say, and loita say is from lo yiyeh. What's all the difference between Anoichi and lo yiyeh? Isn't the two sides of the same coin? It's just the hainu hach, no? And then the Rebbe nitpicks in a few shaylas. What's the pshat that the Rambam says that the Eibush is a motzui rishon? Rishon is a very not good word to say to the Eibush. We know Siddur talks about the difference of echad and yochid. Rishon means rishon, sheni, shlishi, revi, chamishi, shishi. The Eibush is a rishon. How can you say the Eibush is a rishon? If there's a rishon, there's a sheni. We say in Adon Olam, hu echad ve'ein sheni. Echod means that by definition there's ein sheni. Yochid is for sure means unique. There's ein sheni. But why does the Rambam say the Eibush is a motzui rishon? The Rambam put together these words. What does it mean?
What does that mean? I'm one of a kind?
He's the first thing that's in existence. And what's the second one? The stable. And what's the third? You and me. So the Abish is the first, you're the second, and I'm the third. Like the guys are standing on line. There's the Rabbanu Shalom and me and you. How can you say that? And the second halach is Yala ladas shuene motzoi. What do you mean im yala ladas shuene motzoi? The Barbanel asks, what kind of funny words? Im yala ladas. So the Barbanel says that it's a stupid thing to think. It's a dimyan. Im tedama, if a person is going to imagine that the Eibush is ein motzoi. So the Rebbe says, say, Im tedama shuene motzoi. Why is it I'm saying 4 words? Im yala ladas. Shuene motzoi. And what does it mean, shuhu eine motzoi? Who means he? He is who? If the guy doesn't believe in the Eibishter, he's not going to say, who eine motzoi. He's going to say, eine motzoi. There's nothing. You ever see those big bulletin boards? The people that are atheists, they figured out there's not a bunch of them. And they're going to tell it to everybody. So they're not going to say, who eine motzoi. They're going to say, eine motzoi. So what's the pshat? V'miyala ladas shu eine motzoi. What's the whole halacha? What's the name I'm trying to tell us here? Rebbe says the apshat is the opposite of the barbanel. Im yala ladas means someone is smart. Something aliyah bedas. Someone's thinking. Someone's intelligent. There's an Einstein brain. There's someone that's highly intelligent, and he comes up with a moide dike chidush. Yala ladas. He's oile bedaito to kap. The Eibishter ain't a motzui. You quantify the Eibishter as a motzui, as a being? Are you crazy? To quantify the Eibishter as a motzui? He says it's not true. The Eibishter is ain't a motzui. Now the Rambam says the Eibishter lowered himself to be not only motzui, but to be a motzui risha. And the truth is, we just use certain words because we have no choice. Because we have, so we say mitzias, but mitzias is like a brute thing. Mitzias, and we say motzudishin. The Eibishter lowered himself to be a motzudishin. Says the Rebbe like this: even a little child understands. Say there is a brilliant man, and he lowers himself to explain something to a little child. Yeah, at that time he doesn't become dumb just because right now. He's telling a marshal to a little child. It doesn't mean right now he became dumb. He's still brilliant. He lowered himself. But always say sure that he's brilliant. He lowers himself to explain something to a little child. So just because the Eibishter lowered himself to be a Motzri Rishon, he lowered himself to be a Metzias, and not only Metzias, a Rishon to the world. It doesn't mean that simultaneously the Eibishter is Einoi Motzri. This brilliant guy argues on the Rambam. You say that there's 2 things happening simultaneously, that the Eibishter lowers himself to be a Motzui Rishon. And at the same time, the Eibishter is Einoi Motzui. He says, no, the Eibishter is only Einoi Motzui. He wants to exalt the Eibishter. Exalt. He wants to exalt the Eibishter. It's a Kavod Hashem. He wants to say. So the Rambam says, if you're going to say that, so if you're going to say Yala, that will be oil in your mind, such a choshev thing, shehu einei motzei, that the Eibishter is not in the way of motzei, but einei motzei, so then ein davar achal yochel motzei, nothing could exist. So what's so wrong? If nothing exists. So what are you going to say? It's all a dream. I'm a dream, you're a dream, the pastrami sandwiches is
Why
dream.
could nothing exist? Explain it.
How could you prove that something exists? Maybe it's all a dimyan ba'alma. Maybe it's all an
Well,
imagination.
just because the Abish.
Because I pinched myself and I said, ow.
Maybe there's no wall.
Because I pinched myself and I said, ow, that's why. How do I know that's an but Chassidus says that the world has to be in existence, because if the world is not a real thing, how could the Eibishter give mitzvahs? When the Eibishter gives you a mitzvah, it means the world is a real thing. Because otherwise, how could the Eibishter say, I want you to take the leather and put it on your hand? There is really no leather, and the really isn't your hand. I want you to use your brain and to understand the Gadlus Hashem, that it shouldn't be Amunah, it should be Yediyah. You have no brain, everything is one big imagination. Obviously, the Torah, the foundation of the fact that there is mitzvahs, is that there is a world. So the Rambam says, If a person will be oile bedaita to exalt the Eibishter and say that the Eibishter is einoi matzui, because he wants to say kovet shemayim, so then ein dovaracha yochel yimotzas. And then there's no mitzvah. So you tell me the world is fake, and that can't be true. So therefore, this, huh?
The Eibishter is Kol Yachol, so why can't he make himself Einoi Matzoi while we're are?
Right. That's basically the obvious question. Why? Yeah.
Because would have to lower himself. That's what the Rambam says. If you're going to say he's einei matzoi, so then the world is not existing. You're
Why does he
asking
have to
us.
lower himself.
You're asking a question. Like always, like you said, the Rambam is talking rationally. The Rambam is talking rationally. So therefore, we have two halachas. There's two separate halachas. One is about the Eibishter being motz, and one is about the Eibishter being einei motz. The Rebbe says someone's going to argue on me and say, but later the Rambam says that a person that thinks that chas v'sholom there is no God. The Rambam says in the halacha 6, v'yediyas dov as a mitzvah say shenemar anoich Hashem alakecha v'chol hamal al daite sheyesh Hashem alaka acher chutz mizeh oiver beloita as shenemar lo yeh lecholakim achedim al ponai. Over there it says also mala al daite. What are you going to say? That was a mila? That's chisaron. The Rebbe says you're missing the point. If you read in the Rambam Hilchos Avodah Zarah, he says the first people that served Avodah Zarah, they were not doing it to disrespect the Eibishter. They were thinking they're respecting the Eibishter. That the Rebbeinu Shalom should get busy with all these, small details. He put the sun in charge, the moon in charge, the Galgalim, the Malachim. He put a couple of people in charge. So that's why in the person, and the Rebbe says that's why over there it says V'kol hamalab al daite. He thinks he's a smart aleck. He thinks it's a mile, but we know it's a chisaron. Here the Rambam is talking objectively. Not im v'chol hamayla al daite. Vim yala al adas. It's be'emes a mile. It's not a chisaron. It's be'emes a mile. And that's why the third halacha also. He says vim yala al adas she'en kol animtzoim levada metzoim u'levada yeh motzi. And that's also a mile. Because I'll say that's true. There's going to be chat charuv. And nothing will exist besides the Eibishter, whatever the pshat in that is. In Kipshuti means nothing will exist besides the Eibishter. So it's mal aladas, it's a maila, not a chisoren, that he realizes that eventually everything is going to be nothing. But the Eibishter will be. So there's a maila. And the Rebbe says, also, when we say later, we say, there's nothing emes besides the Eibishter. What do you mean the pastrami sandwich is not emes? I just ate it. Vorai, it's emes. I'm going to gain a couple of inches on my waist.
Maybe that's in your dream.
That's my dream.
No, you didn't. Because you took very little children.
No, the whole pastrami sandwich is in
It's
your
all-
dream. Everything is in your dream.
I see you're listening to the Hadim. So the Rebbe says there's a din.
So maybe I didn't come for the food benefits.
It's Mayim Chaim. There's Mayim Chaim. I came for the Divrei Torah. There's Mayim Chaim, and Mayim Chaim is some water that's the highest level, 7 levels of a mikveh. And it has to be from a fresh spring that lives forever. And if it dies once in 7 years, that's called not a Mayim Chaim. Why? Because it's a Mayim Mechazev. It's a sheker. It's not a real water. It's not real. So the Rebbe explains why, because everything in this world has a cycle of 7 days of the week, 7 years of the Shemitah. So as long as something in this world is existing for 7 years, it's called emes. But really, Lagabi the Eibishter or Lagabi the emes, the truth, if something that could exist and not exist is not emes. If the reason you're here is because you happen to be here, but it's shaykh that you wouldn't be here, then even when you're here, you're not really here. Because it's shaykh, you wouldn't be here. Incidentally, you're here. So therefore, everything in the world is not emes. Hashenkin the Eibishter. The Eibishter is emes, because the Eibishter is here. So the Rebbe says, these two things is a yesoid in all the whole Torah. Why? There's two things that the Torah wants from us: mitzvahs asay and mitzvahs lo tasay. There's mitzvah say, mitzvah say is we have to engage the world and bring kedusha into the world. Loita say is that the world says against the Eibishter, and we're going to say no. It's going to be like the Eibishter says. The world says Elokim Acherim. We say no. We're going to destroy it. We're going to destroy it. Right? We're going to erase it. So, in order to do mitzvah saseh, the foundation of every mitzvah saseh, foundation is not just because my bubby said I should do it. My father taught me. My Mora taught me. Every mitzvah I'm doing because the Eibishter is a motzu yidishim, and the Yisoid of all Yisoid, this is because I'm doing the mitzvah because the Eibishter told me to do it. So it's a Yisoid to know that the Eibishter created it, and this is a Metzias from the Eibishter. And the Eibishter said that now I should take the leather and put it in my hand and put the hide on the doorpost. So I'm doing what the Eibishter told me. Then there's things in the world that are tuma, that are mitzvahs loita say, and the world wants to say against the Eibishter. I go like this with my finger. Remember what the guy said in 770 when he was shikr? Who you? Who you? We say to the world, who are you? Who are you? We say to the world, you know that right now there's two things. There's motzi and eine motzi. On the level of the Eibishter, eine motzi, ein dovaracha yochel motzis. You don't exist. You're nothing. You don't exist. Like my favorite story with the Mendele about a dokke and the guy is to the clippers that he kept on saying, you're nothing. I'm not scared of you. You're nothing. And they all went away at the end. There's nothing. You're nothing. We say to the world that you're nothing. So there is, when we say to the world, you're something, and that's chiyuv, and then there's shlila. There is to the positive and the negative. There's what we do, and then there's what we negate. So in order to do and to bring holiness in the world, we have to say, this table has to be for Beis Menachem Mendel. It has to be a table where we're going to read the Torah on this table, and we're going to learn the Rambam on this table. Why? Because the Eibishter made this table. The Eibishter is a Motzidishan. And the Eibishter lowered himself to be a Motzidishan, and therefore we have to make holiness onto this table. And then when there's Tuma that wants to go against the Eibishter, he said, who do you think you are? You're nothing. You're garnished. You don't exist. You don't exist. Even when you exist, you don't exist.
So that means we could exist side by side with the tumor. We don't have to distance ourselves
No,
from it?
we destroy it that way. We destroy it because we tell them you don't exist. We just don't exist. Who do you think you are? You don't exist. You're nothing. So we
But
deflate.
they're supposed to believe us a shtickle though. And if they don't believe you at all, then you have a sakun in the fushes, don't you?
They're sure they believe you. When you say it with truth and you mean it, they believe you. When someone tells you something and they believe it, it comes through. The truth comes through.
How do you tell it to them, directly or indirectly?
Depends. Sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. But that's the foundation. That's why it's a foundation. I would say, and the Rebbe says, I just want a few more nakudas. The Rebbe says, Yisoid is Hamud HaChachma says Yud Kei Vav Kei. Why? There is the Yisoid of the Yisoidus. There's Yud and the Hey. There's the Yud and the Hey, which is Yisoid HaYisoidus. And then there is Vav Hey. The Yisoid HaYisoidus, what's the difference? A Yisoid is under the ground. A Omud is, the house could stand without the Omud. But you need the Omud in order for the house to be stronger, taller.
So you don't see.
But Yisoid you don't see. There is a Deya Keduma. There's like the concept philosopher says that there is an axiom, but you can't explain Apisation. There is the Muna de Eibishter, which is the deepest thing, the Yisoid of the Yisoidus. But then there's also the Yisoid, which is me. I can't even explain it yet. It's in my own mind. And then there is Vamud HaChochmos, which is the later halachas. Basically, the Sefer Amada is the Yisoid Yisoidus, and Vamud HaChochmos is the rest of the Rambam. Chochmas Torah, which is Yichachmatzim and Aschem Leine Amen. There's, I would add to this verse something that we recently learned. Chassidus says, and Tikkun Zohar says that that Zeshmi La'olam Zichri L'Der, that when Moshe Rabbeinu comes to the Eibush and the Eibush introduces himself, the Eibush says Zeshmi La'olam Zichri L'Der. So, the Tikkun says Shmi in Yud and Zichri and Vav is 248 and 365. So Chassidus says that Anistotis is the mitzvah loita say. Aniglas is mitzvah say. Why? Why is mitzvah loita say the yud hey and the mitzvah say the vav hey? So based on what we learned now, it's very clear, because in order to do mitzvah say, you can understand the power of doing mitzvah say is on a lower level, to understand that the Eibush is a motzei rishon. The power to push away the negativity in order to do mitzvah loita say is through knowing that the Eibush is ein motzei and ein davar acher lach. Nothing exists. We say to the klipa, you guys are nothing, nothing and nothing and nothing. So really, in loita say, the power of loita say comes from a much stronger thing. The power from mitzvah say, which is called haniglois loner levaneinu vavke, that's from knowing that the Eibush is a motzei rishon. But the power behind all the mitzvahs, loita say, that's stronger even. That's from einoi motzei. That's from einoi motzei. You guys don't exist. I don't care about you guys. You guys don't exist. So the power from mitzvahs asay is vavke, which vavke is called haniglas. But the power for loita say is hanistoris l'Hashem Elokeinu, is from yudke.
The truth is, they don't exist. Did you ever hear the notion a guy couldn't get himself arrested? Because to him, the Clippers never existed. He couldn't do anything wrong.
So this is the Eibush help him that every one of us should have this unbelievable koyach that from the Rambam, from learning the Rambam, he said this year is cycle 45. What can we say about cycle 45 in the Rambam? Moshe Rabbeinu said, "V'nachnu mo kitalinu aleinu." I'm nothing. Welcome to me. Who am I? I'm nothing but the Shliach Hashem. I don't exist. V'nachnu mo. Chassidus says, "Chochma is koyach mo." The Rebbe says, if you notice in Yesodis V'amud HaChochmas, Ha-Yesodis and Ve'amud and Ha-Chochmas is not the Yesod of the word. You can have the word Yesodis without the word A, but Yud is from the word Yesod, is a Yesod from Yesod, because Yud is the power of, that's the unbelievable koyach from Yud, which is Bittel. So this year, we're in the cycle of Rambam of 45. It's time for us to learn this thing and bring it to heart, this Siyum HaRambam, and bring it to heart. That when we go out in the world, that the Eibush does not only, that we tell the world that the Eibush is a motzui edition, but at the same time is einoi motzui. That Eibush doesn't lower himself to be only motzui. There's also einoi motzui, and therefore, beside that, the world is nothing. The world is garnished. So what am I have nothing to be scared of? I have all the power in my hand.
And Ma is 45.
That's what I'm saying. Ma is 45. Exactly. That's the point. Ma is 45.
It's interesting. By Yetzias Mitzrayim, it was the Eibush that came down and spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu in a way that he was Matzah Rishon.
Right.
And
lowered himself.
because all the
hated the Shem.
because all the mitzvahs were positive. You couldn't tell the Yidden in Mitzrayim lo taseh, because they were already on the lowest level. What couldn't they do? Everything was positive. Everything was positive.
Yes.
So that's why he came down as a Matzah Rishon the way he spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu. And the proof is Moshe Rabbeinu said to him, "Narishkeiten, what, you're going to send me?" He's arguing with the Eibishter. You know what I mean?
Chaim l'chaim. Thank everyone for joining us in this wonderful Siyum HaRambam. There's an unbelievable schus for everyone that came. The Vaila, we want to give a l'chaim for all the loim de Rambam. And if you didn't yet join, there's a beautiful way that it's sent out. There's a shliach in California, Rabbi Resnick, who sends out every day. Every pedic is a few minutes. Yeah, Harley Resnick, and he sends out a beautiful shir in the Rambam. You can learn it many other Magid shiurim. You can learn it yourself. It's very geschmack to learn Rambam. And the Rambam is a sefer which is called a Torah Kula. And if you look later when you get home, if you take it with you, you see what the Ramban wrote about the Rambam. You see what other Gdeli wrote about the Rambam. So you see what the Moshe Rabbeinu said. Moshe Rabbeinu said, Yashakoyach. You did a good job. You put together my whole Torah into one book. Yeah, exactly. He gave him the thumbs up. Yad. Moshe Rabbeinu gave him the Yad HaChazaka. He went like this.
It's not a what's up. It's a old one.
So Bazoi, L'chaim. We give a bracha for everyone based on Achemedel that the Rambam finishes off, that Mashiach will come, Kol Madanim Mitzvim Ka'ofar, that we should read in the last few minutes in Golos, that there should be no kina, l'tachlis, l'melchoma, that Tova Miyatim Mushpas Arba, that should be all good for everyone that's here, B'tachech Klal Yisrael, those that need to make good shidduchim for their children should make good shidduchim, take it from Yad Mamish, and those that need parnosa should have good parnosa, and all of us should have unbelievable chayas and geschmack in our avodas Hashem, and the Mizalgain L'kras Mashiach Tzidkeinu.
Amen. Health for Ben Zion, Ben Sar.
Ben Tzim Ben Sar is on the full shleima.
Came home today.
Oh yeah. Menachem Ben Sar also is on the full shleima, and Zorach Ben Zelden Tzivish have a full shleima.
חיים שמולת, אני יודע שאתה גמרת 45 פעם.
Thank you, Rabbi.
איזה גיל התחלת?
Okay, we got a bench. Do we have any wine?
Yes.
We have wine.
Thank you. I'll quickly unmute it. You can say thank you now.
I see.
Bye, good night.
3 שנים.
Get with Mashiach.
Rabbi Yisai Mirvelen Benche. Barak Matvadan Bishus Marana Veraban Rabbi Yisai Nevore Kali Heinu Shakalna Mishala. We have a two way for you.
It's on its way to love with the boy that came that has it over up on him. Oh, no, saying that I'm a from healing. No, it's in my bubble. You well done.
I say, I can see that comes be like all carrots and barakato dino yazan. It's like
Sure.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Also, you said Yesod ve'amud.
Yeah.
Yesod, when you build a house, you have a Yesod. But you build the house not on Yesod, on the Amud. If you don't have a Yesod, you have only Amud, the house cannot stand. So the Yud you don't see. But the Amud you see.
The Amud you see.
So the Loita say you don't see, the Asa you see.
Yes. Yeah. Very good.
That's what it starts, Yud. Every letter starts with the letter Yud.
Yes.
Don't run away, we have a Meyer now.
Yes, we do.
Rabbi Goldberg, you davening with us?
We're exactly 10.
Are you davening already? I think we have a minute without you.
Okay, I'll stop. Yesod ve'amud. Yesod. Every letter in alphabet start with
That's true.
אולי באמת תלך לאופן. זה לא טוב. יום ראשון יהיה גם מאוד קר.